Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I am so tired today. I look crazy. I look tired is what I look like. And I guess that's fair because I am. I feel exhausted as I'm recording this. And I even thought, well, maybe I shouldn't record it today because I just feel like my voice is just, my aura today, my vibe is just tired. But I thought, no, just the show must go on. We don't show up perfectly. We show up consistently. We show up as we are. We do our best. And here I am just to further prove the point. But seriously, I'm exhausted. I'm on my period. I'm so tired. I think I live in Michigan, so I'm not seeing the sun. The days are so short. The days are so busy. We actually had our super busy weekend. I'm recording this on a Sunday, and my son was on homecoming court yesterday as the junior representative for his class. And it was a really busy day of just getting him around in the morning. And then I took him and his really good friend who he was on court with, I took him and her and up to get their photos done. And that was really fun. Took some extra photos of them. And then he had to get changed. He had to go to the school. I took him some food to the school before his game, just getting him all ready, getting him all set up. And then got myself to the game. We stayed for JV and varsity game, which I'm not used to anymore since he's just on varsity now. And it was just a very long day. And then after that, we actually went out to eat. We went out to eat with my mom and my dad and my niece and my nephew, who I haven't seen together in years. So I won't get into that story, but it was a very fun weekend. And actually the night before that, my son had a game that was 45 minutes away. So it's just been like back-to-back basketball. Again, exhausted, just on my period. Like I said, I am just so tired. And actually, I've only gotten, I think, one workout in. I had planned to get a workout in kind of, every day this week because I would plan on it and then it didn't happen. So then I'd have to plan on it the next day. And then that didn't happen. And so I'd try to do it the next day and that didn't happen. It was just a shit show of a week, apparently, is what I'm trying to say. I had planned to do a workout yesterday morning, but then I ended up taking my son and his friend Riley to their photos and just nothing went as planned, but that's okay. So I'm here though, but I'm walking the talk, shall I say, of I guess exactly what I preach. So I am excited for this coming week to hopefully, I'm recording this on a Sunday to get my ducks in a row so that I can hopefully have some time, energy, all the things, not motivation. I'm not hoping for that because I know I won't find that, but I'm just hoping that I have the time and that I plan well enough to get my shit done this week. So that's where I'm at, just to preface. Tis the season, I think, but this is a typical January experience for me is where I am just tired and I don't want to, and I'm not finding the time. I'm having to make the time. I'm readjusting schedules. Basketball season is, you do get thrown into it, and especially, high school and all the events that come with. So life is just, it just keeps going. This is one of those times when I think, when is life going to slow down? I remember thinking when my kids were little, well, someday they won't need me to drive them everywhere and they won't need me to, do all these things for them and then I'll have time. And well, I don't. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I digress. I am really excited to talk about today's topic, today's episode. We're going to talk about setting standards so high people think you're crazy. And I don't remember, I had that written in my phone in my notes section, and I don't remember if I heard it somewhere, saw it somewhere, thought of it myself. I really don't know. I've said before that I kind of just open my phone, whether it be ChatGPT, and talk into it and say, this is something I want to talk about later and kind of explore for the podcast, or I'll just open my notes section and write it in there. And this is one of those things that I wrote in there. And I'd already planned on talking about standards in this episode. We've been talking about, self-trust and being very specific with your goals and what you want. in the last 2 episodes. So if you haven't listened to the last 2 episodes, please do that. You can listen to it. You can stop this episode and go listen to them now, or you can continue to listen to this episode and listen to them after. But these are progressive episodes. And so I really wanted to talk about standards anyway, instead of goals, or setting standards along with goals, and kind of dive into that. I don't think that's a really new concept. I've even talked about setting standards instead of goals, in addition to goals. But the way that I thought about it was just, whether I heard or thought about, however, but when that concept of setting goals, setting standards so high that people will think you're crazy, I really liked it, because I don't mind a little fun. I don't mind a little push. I don't mind a little, I don't know, a little spice, right? I don't mind people thinking that I'm crazy. And that concept actually is kind of cool to me. If you're like me in that sense of like, you like to push the envelope, you like to be in control, you're like, yeah, let's do it, right? That maybe this will speak to you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Again, I don't know if it's just me and the fact that I'm a Gemini, and the idea of someone telling me what to do, the idea of rules, the idea of you can't do, or, don't touch, or don't go there, or don't try that. It's very much like, don't tell me what to do. I've said that before on the podcast, and it's, not everyone loves it when I say, don't tell me what to do. And I need to be better about that in some instances. But sometimes, like, that's my initial feeling, is like, I always just want to push back. Like, I don't know where that comes from. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's one of my Gemini personalities or what, but there's something in me when it's like, we'll get into this a little bit, but when it's like, you have to eat off of this food list, or you have to do these workouts, or don't miss a day, I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I can get results doing those things, or not doing those things, whatever the case may be, whether that's even true or not. It's just my personality to think that way. So standards for me feel very much like it's my idea. It feels powerful for me. It feels like this is something that I'm doing. I'm setting this standard for myself because I want to. It's my choice. It's what I want to do. It's for me, by me, right? It feels good. It doesn't feel like someone saying, this is what you have to do. Don't fuck it up. It feels like me saying, this is something I want to do because I want to be better at X, Y, and Z. I chose it for myself. I'm in control. And so the idea of standards, in addition to goals, I should say, is always something that I just love. And it really, really resonates with me. So I want to jump in and kind of talk about it. This is going to be a mixture of, notes that I have written down and real talk that I have experienced, and things that I really want to just be real with you and talk about. So I do have some notes that I want to go off of, because I didn't want to forget things just talking about my experience, because there are some key things here that I wanted to talk about, but it's going to be a really good mix. So let's be real though. When we're talking about standards, they do make people uncomfortable, or they can. They don't always. It's not always going to make someone uncomfortable, but they can. They have the ability to, right? And that's different than goals, because if you tell someone, hey, I have this goal of X, Y, and Z, they're like, oh, I love that for you, right? If you tell someone that's a standard, or that's a boundary for me that I set, and I will not be doing this anymore, or whatever, that comes across differently. And some people can take offense to that. And I might even, as I'm talking about this, I might even be someone who takes offense to that, because like I said, that's my original thought, is like to push back. I don't think that I would be, but as I'm saying that, I didn't really think about that until now. But if someone's saying like, hey, that's a standard, or that's a boundary, if I'm getting ready to cross their boundary, I might think, ew, I don't like that. But I shouldn't. So that was just kind of a little bit of extra there that I just thought about, because it does come across, is what I'm trying to say. It does come across as they are saying that's not going to work for them anymore. And that can be a little offensive to people, myself, you included. But just because I would feel a certain way, just because I would feel like, ew, I don't like that, or that made me feel not good, or now I feel like shit because I crossed your boundary and you're putting me in check, that's not their problem. That's my problem that it makes me feel like that. And vice versa. If you are setting a standard and it makes someone else feel uncomfortable, that is kind of the point. That's fine. That is kind of the point. And I want to talk about that, because high standards are only labeled as crazy when they don't match the room, when they don't match the vibe. If you are in a room with someone who also doesn't want to stay up late anymore and doesn't want to go out and party anymore and doesn't want to drink alcohol anymore, wants to count their macros, wants to go to the gym. If you are in a room of people who are matching your standards, matching your vibe, you're going to fit right in. People are going to say, oh, welcome. That's awesome. We love that for you. If you are in a room of people who don't want to change those things about themselves, they're going to look at you and say, ew, that's boring. That sucks. I hate that for you. Now we can't hang out anymore. Or, that makes me feel triggered like, ooh, I kind of want to do that, but I'm not ready yet. Depending on the room you're in, right? High standards can get labeled as crazy, but it's not your problem. That's the problem of the room that you are in. High standards will also make people think you are obsessed from time to time. That has happened to me so many times where people will say, you're becoming obsessed, or you're obsessed with this, or something to that effect. And that happens to my clients all the time too, where it's looked at as, oh, you're starting to go to the gym 5 days a week, you're obsessed. Or you're starting to run, you're obsessed. You're starting to count your macros and, stand up for yourself and not eat certain things when you're out and say no to alcohol, whatever it is. Oh, you're obsessed with whatever it is that you're doing. And first of all, that's not such a bad thing to be obsessed with something, especially if it's healthy and good for you. But it comes across as, oh, it's labeled as you're obsessed if your standards are high. And high standards will also make people talk shit about you sometimes. So those are just some things that I wanted to mention as we were talking about setting standards so high people think you're crazy. People will think you're crazy. People will talk shit about you. People will think you're obsessed, and people will label you as crazy, or your ideas as crazy, or you're acting crazy, right? Those are things that are going to come along with that. I have felt judged, and I have seen people feel judged because of me or feel uncomfortable around me. I've felt that probably from both sides. I have probably been in certain times in my life where I wasn't following maybe my nutrition plan or maybe my workouts as hard as I wanted to. And when I see someone doing that, looking better than I do, sticking to their goals, whatever it is, I feel uncomfortable because that's on me. That makes me feel like, oh, I'm not putting in the time. I'm not giving it my all, right? And I have also been locked in and had people around me say, oh, I kind of don't like that you're not eating what we're eating, or I kind of don't like that you're going home early so you can go for a run in the morning, right? They've felt like judged, or they have felt bad because they're not doing that. Oh, I should be doing those things. I should be out going for a run, but I can't, I don't have time, or whatever it is, right? I have definitely felt that before, and it's normal and it's fine. Another thing I want to talk about is high standards getting misunderstood. I think when this is something that I was just kind of talking about with high standards being extreme and excessive and obsessive, that's just kind of what we're taught, is that it's extreme to count your macros. It's extreme to go to the gym every day. It's extreme to have a gym in your garage, right? We don't even park in our garage. And people have said to us before, like, you have a 2-car garage and you use it for a gym? That's crazy. Like, you're like the only people in town that do that or whatever, right? It seems extreme. It seems obsessive. It seems like, who does that? It seems like having muscles is crazy because it's not the norm. We're also taught if it's not the norm, that it's wrong or it's weird or it's obsessive, excessive, extreme, right? So just because everyone isn't doing it, it's looked at as not normal. What's normal is burnout, parking in your garage, which should be normal, chaos, inconsistency, giving up, right? Eating too much, eating whatever you want, not knowing how much you're eating, drinking at every occasion, just flying by the seat of your pants, eating out for every meal. Like, what's normalized, if you think about it, is actually not really that good for you. And what we call obsessive, I'm doing air quotations here, is what's healthy. Really, like, oh, it's crazy that you go to the gym 5 days a week. It's crazy that you have workout machines in your home. To me, that's just normal. Like, we've been like that for so long that it's just normal that I hit my steps, that I track my macros, that I look at the protein content on every meal, that I have a gym in my home, that I have workout equipment, that I value that. That's my normal. So I don't think about it as weird, but it depends on who you're in the room with. And then this is another note that I had written down. High standards highlight what others tolerate. So if I'm saying, no, I'm not going to drink tonight. I really need to go home actually and get up early and run. I'm not saying, of course, that's a standard that I have set for myself. I'm just saying like, hey, thank you so much for offering me another drink. Thank you for even purchasing it, offering to purchase it, but I'm not going to drink it because I'm going to go home. I have to get some sleep. I have a busy day tomorrow. I have to fit my training in. Other people are going to think, oh, well, I don't do that. I don't plan for that, right? And they're going to say, oh, yeah, well, I should be doing that too, but I'm not. I'm going to stay out here and have fun. You should too. That is highlighting what they choose. It's kind of like pointing that out for them. And that's why it comes across as obsessive. That's why they talk shit. That's why they don't understand. It's not because of you. And that's kind of what I'm trying to circle back to here is people aren't triggered by your standards. They're triggered by the mirror, by what they're not willing to do, by what they're not doing, by what they said they would do, but they didn't, right? It's not you that's the problem. It's them that's the problem. It's the room that you're in that's the problem. And it's not even like you have to get out of the room or you can't be friends with these people that are thinking these things. It's just, let this be the year that you stop giving so much power to what people think and how people feel. That's what I'm ultimately trying to say. I just spit it out here. Let's not give people that much power anymore in how they feel or what they say, having so much bearing on you, because that's not on you. So let's really dive in here because this is what I love. This is what I kind of love, actually. I love to push back on people and things. I also love when people push back on me because I've been in situations where people have said things like, going out with you is no fun if you're not going to drink. Going out with you is no fun if you're only going to have a salad. Or going to the gym isn't fun with you. These are just examples. Going to the gym isn't as fun with you if you're going to actually count your reps and not just, gossip and hang out and use it as kind of a social hour. But I'm having fun. Why aren't you having fun, right? If I'm saying I'm not going to drink because I got to get home, I got to run in the morning, and people are saying, well, that's not fun. This is not fun. You're not fun anymore. That's on you. That's not on me. I'm having a great time. And I know that I'm leaving at this time because I have to get up, work out, train, whatever the reason is. I'm still having a great time. But for some reason now you are not having a great time because I don't want to drink or I'm leaving early. If what I'm doing and my standards and my plans are ruining your day, ruining your lunch, ruining your time, and you're saying it's not fun because of me, that's not true. That's not my problem. That's not your problem. So when you go out into the world and you have these standards set that are so high that you start to love yourself, you start to trust yourself, you start to really believe, I can fucking do this. I don't have to show up for other people. I don't have to go to this party. I don't even have to say why, but if I want to, I can say, this is why I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I don't have you and I didn't have this thing in my plans. I didn't know about it. Sorry, I already have this scheduled. Or I have to meal prep tomorrow because I'm going to stay on track. And this is what I promised myself that I would do. So I can't come to your event. I'm sorry. I didn't have enough notice, whatever it is, right? But if you say these things, people are going to think you're crazy and they're going to say, well, you're not fun anymore, or you're ruining our time because you're talking about going to the gym instead of talking about drinking so much. Whatever it is, insert any situation that you've been in or you're going to be in the future. It's not your fucking problem that you leveling up is affecting their fun. That's not your problem. But what we do is we're there. Let's say I'm out, right? We're out, my husband and I, and people are saying like, hey, let's have one more drink. Let's just stay another hour. And we're like, no, we have to go home. The kids are home. We need to get up tomorrow and get our workout in, whatever it is. And people are saying, oh, come on, you're no fun. You're no fun. It's really easy in that moment to say, okay, one more drink. It's fine. Then you go home and you think, now I feel like shit. I said I was going to leave at this time. I said I wasn't going to have that many drinks. Now I feel like shit. My sleep's going to be affected. I'm going to probably sleep in tomorrow because I got home later than I wanted to. Now I'm going to miss my workout. That has happened to me more times than I can count. Not that exact scenario, but me basically saying I'm going to do something, not doing it, being pissed at myself. And for what? So these people can be happy that I had one more drink as if me leaving would have affected them in any way, right? or me not wanting them to be upset. Like, okay, you guys want me to have one more drink and they're going to buy it for me. So, okay, twist my arm, right? That happens all the time. And it's the easy thing to do. What happens is later you're pissed at yourself and you lose trust in yourself and you lose confidence in yourself. Instead, let's make this the year that when somebody says, hey, I'll buy the drink, just stay out one more hour, you say, no, I said I'm leaving and I'm leaving. And maybe you even get pissed at them for even asking and saying, no, I actually said I'm leaving. If you were a real friend, you would have said, I love that for you. Have a great night. We'll see you next time we go out, right? Let this be the year that you set standards so high, people think you're crazy and you enjoy them thinking you're crazy. You enjoy them seeing your badass body and you enjoy them coming to you later asking you for tips and for help and how'd you do it and how are you motivated and you look so great. Let this be the year that you do that, okay? And have me in your back pocket, all your pockets, your front pocket, put me everywhere and know that I am here for you and I'm here with you walking through this because this happens. And once you get to the point where you have done the things we've talked about in the last 2 episodes where you're very specific with what you want, you walk up to that coffee shop, you order exactly what you want. And then once you do that, you now know, okay, this is what I have to do with it to get there, these standards. And when you say it out loud to someone and they look at you like, girl, what are you talking about? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why would you go to the gym on a Friday night? That's crazy. And maybe you're like, well, maybe I'm doing it because I don't want to drink. And if I'm here, I'll drink. So I'm going to leave and go to the gym. That sounds insane. But it actually sounds pretty fucking cool too, right? You can be there and be like, look at me. I'm at the gym. I'm growing. I'm gaining. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. That to me is like the coolest thing. Okay. So let's start to twist it around to where if people are saying, you're crazy, you're no fun, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Period. I'm not doing that. Maybe it's not fun. But like I'm having a really good time, so I don't know why it's affecting you. It's not on me. So this is just another one of those things that you just stop and you think, what do I actually want? What are my standards? How can I change this? What do I usually do in this situation? Stay. Am I proud of that? No. Do I feel good when I get home? No. So what would actually make me proud? What would actually make me proud and happy and stronger and confident instead of what would make them happy in this moment? Okay. That is something that I really just wanted to say because it's been like just sitting here for a couple of days wanting to come out of me as I record this. Listen, I'm not even tired anymore. I feel good now. I'm feeling pumped up. But seriously, standards so high, people think you are crazy. The difference between standards and rules. This is really important because this changed a lot for me. When I started out in my fitness journey, I was Beachbody, right? It's a lot of rules. And so rules, as I said in the beginning of this podcast, I don't like them. I want to say, don't tell me what to do. But in this situation, I didn't know what to do. So I needed someone to tell me what to do. So it was fine for a while until I thought, okay, now I have the basis of it. Now I don't want you to tell me what to do anymore. I don't want to eat off this food list anymore. I want to eat other things. I'm sick of this. I want to figure it out for myself now. So rules are rigid. They are punishment based. They are, I hate my body, so I'm going to do this program because I hate my body and I want to love my body again. Standards are, I want to love my body and I do love myself. So I'm going to set standards based on who I am, self-respect, what I want. That's a very big difference. And it can feel like kind of like what I just mentioned. I have to eat from this food list instead of I create the food list. I know what I need to eat most of the time. I also know that I want to eat Oreos sometimes. So I'm going to put Oreos on my food list. Maybe they're going to be more towards the bottom, like we're not eating that for breakfast, but we're going to eat them, right? So instead of I have to eat off of this food list, I have to. This is the only food that I get. I didn't create the list. It's not even based on my goals. Maybe it's just clean food or it's whatever list you find, right? Versus that's like the restrictive part. That's the rules versus I create the food list. I get to eat the foods on this list because it's based on my goals and my wants and my reality. Another example of this for me was like, I have to do HIIT cardio daily. That was kind of a thing in the P90X and I love P90X. But it was like, you have to do this HIIT cardio, or there were some different programs that I did where it had 10 minutes, 15 minutes of HIIT after the weightlifting. every single time. And I learned, well, I have to do weightlifting and then I have to do 10 to 15 minutes of HIIT, this specific HIIT right after. And my body, with my autoimmune stuff, I don't really love to jump. It doesn't really do well with jumping and that kind of movement. It hurt. I think it did more damage to me than good. So I have to do this HIIT cardio daily, this specific kind. That's a rule. Or like versus I do cardio in the form of cardio that I like, because cardio is cardio at the end of the day based on your goals, right? I do cardio based on the form I like 3 to 4 days a week, because that's what I have time for. That's what works for me. That's what works for my goals. So the standard is now I create the cardio routine. I create the food list. I create my goals. I create those standards. That feels so good. So when I'm like, okay, I get to do my cardio today. I planned on doing my cardio routine today, not P90X says I have to do cardio on Tuesdays or yoga on Wednesdays, which is actually what it was, yoga Wednesdays. And that's just kind of where I started. And again, I got great results from those programs. There's nothing technically wrong with those programs. It's just the mentality that maybe you start with a program, a goal, whatever, but then it moves into these standards so gracefully. So I want you to think about them in that way of the I have to versus I get to, being a rule, you have to, versus a standard, I get to. Standards also, for me, they create a lot of ease. And I think that's why when I talk about motivation, and it's not even a word that comes into my vocabulary, it's just like, I created the workouts, or I, chose this workout program for you that aren't creating workouts. I chose to do Fit Club. I trust Christy. I trust what she says. There's options in here. There's options for cardio. There's options for stretching. There's options for full body. There's options for muscle group focused. There's instructions. Like, I choose to do this. These are the days that I choose to move the workouts around if I need to. And then you just do it because it fits into your life. So you have fewer decisions to make, which I don't like decision fatigue. If you give me more than 2, if you even give me a decision, I'm out. I don't like more than 2 options. I get very overwhelmed easily. So if I just know it's Monday, that's my rest day. It's Tuesday, that's my lift day. It's Wednesday, that's my run and light lift day. It's Thursday, rest day. Whatever it is, like if that's my routine, that's my routine. I don't have to think about it. I just show up. This also comes with less emotional bargaining. Like, oh, should I work out today or should I just do it tomorrow? Or should I run today or should I not run today? Should I run before my workout? Should I run after? No, we're not doing that. We're not bargaining back and forth with ourselves. We're not taking up more mental space. That's another thing I love from it, is the quieter mental space that it gives me, because I know what I'm doing. And that's something that I've always had benefit me for my workouts, the way that I've looked at it and the way this lifestyle, the way that I teach. It does quiet your mental space. It does take up less emotional bargaining, because you have a plan. You know the results you're going to get. It's not too hard. That sounds crazy. Like, let's say Fit Club, for example, it is hard, but it's not like you can't ever miss a workout. I felt like in different workout programs that I did that were like a, 3-month program or a 21-day program, something. It's like if you miss a day, you're screwed, because you want to make a huge change within this short time period. So if you mess up, you got to start over. Not anymore. Like, that's not how I look at it anymore. I'm like, I have to make it fit into my life. And so when I do that, it takes up less space in my mind. And it's always been like that. People are like, how do you know what to do? How do you know when to do it? How is it just so easy for you? It's not that it's easy to do it. It's that I don't bargain with myself. I know I have 4 workouts to do per week. I have to get them done. I know I want to run more. I know I have to hit 10,000 steps. I have to go walk. Like, it just isn't an option. This shit is not optional. It's not an option. There's no guesswork. So that's really nice too. When you have higher standards for yourself, it's not an option for me to leave the party if I have something to do the next day. It's not an option for me to barter with myself. And I have notes about this right here. When you know who you are, you stop negotiating with yourself. When you know your standards, you stop negotiating with others. So when you know who you are, when I decided I am someone who works out, I am someone who lifts weights, this is what I do now. I've stopped negotiating with myself. It was like, I am dedicating myself to this build program. I'm doing body recomp. I'm lifting really heavy now and I'm eating more. I'm lifting a little bit lighter and eating less, in spring, summer, however that looks. I'm not negotiating with myself. I've decided this is who I am now. This is what I do. There's no bargaining with myself. There's no emotional going back and forth of like, when should I? What are we doing? Who are we? I know exactly what's going on now. Took some time to get there, but I know now. When I set standards of I'm not drinking tonight, I'm not negotiating with everybody else. When someone asks me, do you want to drink tonight? Something like that. Or are you having dessert tonight? No, it doesn't fit in my macros. I'm not having dessert tonight. No, I said I'm not drinking tonight. I'm not drinking tonight. I'm not negotiating with you about it. It's a hard no. But that came after I set standards for myself. You kind of have to do the things we talked about in the last 2 episodes first, being very, very specific. So you will feel more control instead of following the rules. You'll feel like I set these standards for myself, not you gave me this set of rules. I did this to myself. I feel more confident. I feel more in control. And this will affect other areas of your life. That's why I always say when you do this foundational work of the self-trust and figuring out why your goals didn't work in the past and realizing that it's your fault, but it's also not completely your fault. It's because you didn't know what you were doing. You set the wrong standards. You set the wrong goals. You set them based on other people or what other people wanted, right? When you start to know exactly what you want and you start to order and tell yourself exactly what you want, it becomes easier to then set standards and say, well, this is what I want. So this is what I have to do. And if I know that's what I want and what I have to do, I have to be able to tell others, this is what I want and this is what I have to do. And this is who I am now. And if that's not fun for you, sorry, I'm having a great time. Like if this isn't fun for you, it's not really about you. So it doesn't matter, right? So it becomes easier to work that into other areas of your life where you will now know you are capable of saying no, of showing up for yourself, of doing so many other things outside of the gym. So I always say like lifting weights and working out, all of this changed my life. And that's why it's not that working out, like growing a little biceps and growing a little glutes helped me in the rest of my life. It's everything that goes along with it. It's who I became in the process. And that will be exactly what it is for you too. So I hope this episode was very helpful and beneficial for you. I hope hearing it in this way is helpful and beneficial for you. Sometimes I think I am passionate about the weirdest thing. Like, am I really passionate about protein and standards? This is who I am now. But seriously, I am. And that's exactly why. So I hope this resonated. I hope that it really does make you think, oh, I have the option. I am in control of this. Christy does this. I can set standards that are super high. I can make people feel uncomfortable. And I really, like I said, like let this be the year where you really, really experiment with that. And yeah, maybe you piss some people off. Yeah, maybe you make some people uncomfortable. Who cares? Like, who cares? It's about time anyway, honestly. It's about time we pissed a few more people off. Kidding, sort of. Anyways, I love you. I'm here for you. I am asking a huge favor for you right now, from you right now, I should say. Please go rate and review the podcast on Apple and Spotify. But if you could leave me a message in Spotify, so many of you already do, but please do that. I seriously love to hear what you thought of the episodes. It's so nice to chat with you guys. There's so many cool features coming to Spotify that I really want to dive into. And I'm trying to kind of organize business end things right now with the rebrand and, just kind of cleaning things up and just literally cleaning things up like my Google Drive, like business stuff, but so that I have more time to dive in there and talk to you guys. But I always check Spotify comments on the episodes and it's just so fun to hear from you guys. So I really, really appreciate it. So if you could make some time to go chat with me over there and just tell me literally on any episode, it doesn't matter. I just really like to know what you're resonating with and chat with you over there. So thank you for listening. Set some really fucking high standards this week. Do it and see how proud you feel. And tell me about them, actually. You can tell me that on Spotify in the comments because I love some high standards. If someone confronts you about it, please let me know that too. I love nothing more than to hear someone standing up for themselves. So please tell me about it. And I will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.